Here, John. Nothing weird. So here, you can run my iPad here and I'll narrate. How's that?
Sounds good.
So everything he's doing is on the projector screen. So, Joe, you did guided workflows on cooling with them already? Is that?
No, we're doing that after lunch, so it'll be a new experience to kind of do some of the guided stuff. The guided flow for a furnace is so easy compared to the cooling. There's less stuff to do.
Good to walk outside. Stand the guided on either.
Okay, so they haven't seen any Measure Quick projects
Nope.
whatsoever.
Well, welcome to it. That's right. We did a lot of science. We know the science behind it.
Okay.
Yeah, we're ready to project.
All right. Well, shit.
I think you can do it.
Yeah, no, actually, I kind of like that. I get the clean slate here. right now.
Virgins.
Yes. Yeah. Anyway, so if so how many have actually how many have not done a project in Measure Quick? Are there maybe that have never done a project? Okay, so the project Measure Quick is more than just taking measurements. We make a lot of calculations with the measurements, and a ton of documentation as well. The whole point of doing the project is to get through and get that report at the end with all the information on it. So all the information that you collect builds on itself as you go through the process. So the project is kind of like your work order. Or, yeah, it's like your work order. You're documenting everything that you did and observed on this job. Shut the hell up. So, so that's the whole idea of a project. That's the whole process of collecting all the data. So on a cooling project,
We're going to help you real quick. So for cooling stuff, remember we were doing the gauge screen? Like we just lived in there, saw our numbers and all that kind of stuff. We didn't go into a project. So for heating, it doesn't really work well to just like hang out on the gauge screen and figure out combustion because it's not that process. So you need to have a structure. So when we do heating, we just go into a project, and it's just the only way to get that information and see it. Even in a gauge screen, you've really just got to step through it. Ours is turn stuff on and we get automatic. So the only way for us to do what we want to do in heating is through a project. So that's really how I kind of summarize it.
Let me add one thing to that. What type of CRM systems are you guys using? Service Titan?
House call.
House call?
I'm gonna try the Fieldstone. I currently use Pazerware, and I can't wait to tell them to kiss it.
So one of the things when Jimmy says start a project, if you're using
Okay, so where do you go to start a project if you're doing that? You don't go where?
Dispatch.
You go to dispatch project.
okay, yeah. So that's I see a lot of people
yes.
start a project, but they don't start it from the dispatch spot.
Yes. Yes, if you are a Service Titan or House Call Pro user, do not hit the big shiny green Start Project button. So do not do that. What you will do is you'll scroll down to the Dispatch Project section, and there you will see your projects from Service Titan or House Call, or Fieldstone Sunday. But as you're doing the project, this applies more for cooling. We're going to do a heating project, but I want to tell you this about the cooling projects. As you're doing a cooling project, you're working on a system that's constantly fluctuating. The measurements and operating conditions are always changing. So you can't put a video on a report. You can't make a PDF paper. You have measurements that are constantly changing over the course of a half hour or whatever. So all you can do is take like a snapshot of measurements in time. So you as the user have to be aware of how the system is running and when the measurements that are coming in on your probes are a good representation of the performance of the system. And so on a cooling project, on a cooling service project, we give you two opportunities to take snapshots of measurements. You get this test in snapshot and test out. Test in is meant to be done before you make any repairs or adjustments to the system, so this way you can document the as found condition and performance of the air conditioner. Then you have the opportunity to present the vitals report to the customer and make some plan of attack on how you want to proceed from there, what needs attention, what you can let slide. And then you actually make those repairs. Then take your test out snapshot, and then you'll have a report at the end that has before and after on it. Now that's for cooling. Heating is a little bit more
Can I
temperamental.
stop you? Where do we go for test in, test out?
It will prompt you in the process.
Okay.
And I'll point it out to you as we go.
We have to start a project though to do
To
test
do
in,
this.
test
Yes.
out. Okay, cool.
Yes,
Just
the
wanted to-
project
That would
is
be
the
AC
process.
service, that would not be commissioning.
Okay.
Commissioning, we're benchmarking commission, right?
Well-
AC service is what we're gonna test in and test out.
Right. The difference between service and installation or commissioning is it's really the same process almost, except there's no test in because it's a new piece of equipment.
Okay,
I
gotcha.
just wanna make sure, that's why I was clarifying.
I wanna
'cause
be
if you hit
clear, too.
commissioning, if you hit commissioning, you're not gonna get a test in and test out.
Right.
Yeah.
Is
yeah.
everybody clear on that one?
You're just going to test out. So you'll go into the project and you'll start tweaking and dialing everything in as you go. Benchmark the system when you have it dialed in as good as you can get it, and then test out, generate the report, and you're done. So now on heating is a bit more temperamental because, and I have begged Jim to change this, and he's adamant that it needs to be this way. As we go through the heating project, on cooling, you always have live measurements from your probes as you go. On heating, you do not. Heating, we're going to capture our gas pressures, our combustion measurements, our temperature rise will all be captured step by step as we go. And when you do it, you have to do it kind of quickly because as the house warms up, your return air temperature goes up, and that can affect how the furnace is running.
Yeah, you're net, yeah.
So I get people on the phone a lot that, you know, they get halfway through a heating project and then they get a phone call, especially if they're doing it on their phone, not their iPad. They get a phone call, get taken out of the app, and then, oh shit, it lost the early measurements in the process. So once you start a heating project, you really want to commit to it. So start the project.
Which basically means get everything set up first.
Yes, yes. Have everything.
Huh? If you need it. Thank you.
Have everything connected, and the probes that we're going to be using. So it'll prompt you when we get into this. So scroll down to the guided workflows. So, and here's another little thing to be aware of. Notice these little menus are collapsible. I hate this myself. Being in tech support, trying to. You guys call me, and I literally am sitting at my desk, picturing what you're seeing in my mind. I can't see your screen, so I have to. The question I'll ask them is, what do you see? What screen are you on? What do you see right now? And I have to picture where you're at. So what I get sometimes is people saying, well, I'm doing a guided workflow, and they think that the guided workflow is everything beneath this menu, that these are all guided workflows. And they're not. The menu is actually collapsed. So these are the guided workflows, and then you can scroll down to the other project types. So the guided workflows are kind of the new version of MeasureQuick. Anybody who's been with us for more than a couple of years, you're probably not using the guided workflows. You probably hate the guided workflows.
Teaching the guided workflows is a hell of a lot better than trying to teach it when it
Without
guided.
teaching it, yes. Teaching it, yes. But doing it is a bit cumbersome to me because I'm used to it the other way. But the newer version of MeasureQuick is basically the guided workflows. The older version we had to keep in here is just the standard cooling projects here because we have veteran users that have been with us for, 5-6 years now, and they're used to it. They know what to do, so we don't want to alienate them. So you guys, I would highly suggest sticking to the guided workflows and do a gas furnace service project. Now, at this point, it's going to ask you to add or select existing equipment or create a new site. So the way we organize all the equipment, all the information in our database is we create a site, and then you establish equipment on the site. You can only do one project on a. Let me rephrase that. Back up. You can only service one piece of equipment on each project. So the project is dedicated to a piece of equipment. Okay.
For the sake of harvesting this, do you mind if I ask somebody to run Joe's camera so my crew can see the screen on this one?
No.
Will someone run the camera on this and point it at the screen so we can actually see what the hell we're talking about? Thank you. Okay.
So you're going to do a gas furnace service project and select existing equipment right now just for sake of time.
Add or select equipment.
Yep, so this is now a list of nearby equipment based on our GPS location of my iPad. So we're going to do a project on 8% two-stage dual fuel unit. And so now it's pulling all the data about the equipment and this site and customer from our cloud. Now, if you're a service type in your House Call Pro user, it's going to link the two jobs together. Link your House Call job to the Measure project. And if it was your first time servicing at a site, it will pull the customer information from House Call or service type as well. And so in the next couple pages, there'll be data that's already filled out for you guys. So this is the beginning of the project. At this point, it's just explaining what you're going to be doing. The name of the game is hit the next button. So hit the next button. And got to have your probes turned on at this point. They don't actually have to be connected to the system, but they need to be at least turned on. And actually, for gas heating, they probably do need to be connected to the system right now. So mine are connected and turned on, so hit next.
For those of you who haven't done the gas workflow, I would highly suggest, because I keep the field piece gauges, I also have the Testo manometer, that's the dual manometer. My dual manometer does my airflow, my field piece do my supply and manifold pressures, and that way I can look everything up while the system's off and never have to turn off the system to change my manometer.
Yes. And that's it, with the guided workflow, it will not let you proceed unless you have at least 3 manometers on it and 2 cycles. So I already have my manometers hooked up. I got a single port field piece, just like you said. Field piece, single port on the incoming gas and manifold gas ports of the valve. I'm using, instead of a Testo, I'm using a Yellow Jacket dual port manometer, but yeah, same idea. And a pair of field piece, this is not actually anything. Field piece psychrometers in the job. So it's still not letting us continue. It says 1 or more probes not connected. So go to the toolbox and see what's missing here. Probe manager.
Sorry, Mark. Combustion analyzer is not connected.
What's that?
Combustion analyzer is not connected. Go back
That's
one.
okay. It doesn't need to be
Okay.
connected. You don't want to connect the analyzer yet.
So any compatible dual port manometer is recommended. So take our static pressure, that way we don't have to switch probes.
I use the dual port because it's a visual difference between that and my gas pressure gauges. That's to make it idiot proof.
And Jimmy's saying the same.
And I'm a pretty big idiot, so that just helps.
So there is one advantage though to using single port manometers. Is when you're using this dual port, all you're seeing is total stack. You see the difference between supply and demand. You don't see individual measurements. There's only one sensor in a dual port manometer, the Testo and the Yellow Jacket. There's only one sensor in it. So all it can see is two ports. It cannot compare the two. So I think there is actually a way in the Yellow Jacket that you can make it just isolate the two out. So all you're seeing is total static with a dual port in measurement, not separate. So yeah, pick your poison.
Yeah.
So now next, probes are connected. Confirm power is disconnected. We lied to it. We only set that and collapse back on that so we get back to the gauges. So feel free to lie to it if the power is disconnected. We only set that on personal injury, ambulance chasing lawyers. So don't blame us if you get that. I could have used a big jolt the last couple days anyway. So hit next. And so now we're into the project, really. What you see here, you see the workflow in the categories are already checked off because this is an existing piece of equipment. The customer information and equipment information is already in the database, so we'll pull it from the cloud. And this is what I meant with service type and house call users. Your site information and customer information will be populated automatically from from.
And if you've already been there, your equipment information.
Exactly. So if you want to click on each one just so you see what it looks like. This is the site information right here. Go back in there for a second. Something. So this is geolocating the site, and the site name at the top of the page by default is the street address, but you can put in a custom name for the site if you would like. Site name I don't think is as important as the equipment name. So hit continue. And customer information, I'm not going to bore you with that. It's just name, address, phone number, social security number, date of birth, name your first pet, favorite color, you know, everything you need to steal your identity. Done.
Is that Jim's cell phone number up there?
Yes, it is.
We'll get out of that screen.
He's very generous with it. I don't feel too flattered anybody else.
It's like old what's it?
It's on every bathroom stall in here, so geolocating the equipment. So this looks the same as the last map you just saw, but this is the equipment map, not the site map. So if you're working on a house with only one unit or a small business with only one unit, it's pretty unimportant. By default, the equipment name will also be the street address. But if you have multiple units, you remember when he started the project, he had the equipment list, and I had him pick 80% two-stage dual fuel, blah, blah, blah. This is where that name comes from. So for future identification, I would suggest that you have unique names for your equipment that the next guy can quickly identify. So, and you can drag the pin anywhere you want to wherever the unit is, if you can see it from outside, the rooftop unit, or just put it on the condenser next to the building, so you can see it from the south. Continue. And then AI system profile. In the projects, there are different types of photos you can take. So as I said earlier, the project is documenting what you did on the equipment. So there's two different types of photos. There are equipment photos and then there are project photos. The equipment photos follow the equipment from project to project. So are you having fun?
I'm listening too.
Okay, good. So you notice these pictures are already, he didn't actually take these pictures on his project. These pictures were already here because they're equipment photos. So, all right, get the hell out. So you tell what your system configuration type is, and then these photos, you'll take pictures of the labels for the equipment.
Are we using a heat pump?
Technically, yeah. It is a heat pump. Yeah. That's all set already. When you take those when you take these pictures of the labels, now you can put additional pictures in there of the equipment if you want that to stay with the equipment. That's fine. But the AI profiler is one to try to read the label, fill out the profile information as best as you can. So if you can't read the label, it's not going to be able to read the label. So you want to clean the label off, make it as legible as you can. You take the picture, you want to fill the screen with the label as much as you can without cutting off any details. So then scroll down. I'm not going to actually have you hit the blue button here, and it will try to read the label. Connect to the internet and try to extrapolate as much info about the internet as you can just from reading the labels. But when it does that, it's going to go to view or edit profile.
Can we hit that?
Yep, hit that. So now, this is what I argue is the most important page in the whole program. If I tell you I have 50 pounds of air in my tires, that's it. I don't know if I'm driving my truck, my car, my four-wheeler, you can't tell me if 50 pounds of air is good or not. It's the same thing with this. There's no point in taking measurements if you don't know what they're supposed to be. So this is the page that all the information in MeasureQuick is based on. All of our diagnostics, our fault codes, our pressure targets, temperature targets, it's all based on this page. So do not half-ass this page. Yeah.
I'm taking the pictures with that, the pictures we're doing, are they populating the targets, or is that still something a manual process?
That's what it's doing right now. When you take the pictures,
So it'll give you the AI, or the AI stuff will give you like the targets down below?
yes, it's going to populate this page to the best of its ability. You can tell what's AI generated by the little diamond logos next to each line. That means that that was determined by AI.
I just want to clarify, because some people in other classes have been like, oh, you know, this information, like, no.
Now you can, yes, only in the last couple months.
Okay, good.
That's a new thing.
Thank you.
So, will like superheat and subcooling be
That's what I
coming
was-
down the?
That's what I was just gonna point out. This takes it from the 10 defaults that we saw in the other workflows to the actual Goodman recommendations of 8 and 8.
Or it tries to. And that's what I'm gonna get to here is, as Reagan said, trust but verify. Don't just say, oh, I ran AI, we're good to go. You need to actually look at all this and make sure that it's read and, you know, deciphered the label accurately. So, I don't think I think Joe's gonna do the cooling demo with you guys. But one thing real quick, I wanna make sure I mention to you guys is at the top of the page, our cooling projects were, that's really what we do. That was our first thing, when MeasureQuick first started, we were doing cooling, not heating. So some of this still kind of has a cooling system bias. So even though we're doing a heating project, it's asking a lot of information about the cooling system. System type configuration, split system versus package unit, mini split, whatever. Compressor type, scroll, recip, rotary. But VF compressor condenser fan, a little checkbox there. And I've been getting this a lot lately. When you're working on a modulating system, whether it's air conditioner, heat pump, or furnace, when you're working on a modulating system, you're gonna run it in test mode or charge mode, full blast, okay? So even if you check the little box here that says variable frequency compressor or condenser, all that's doing is changing the power factor target for the electrical measurements. Because being a variable frequency drive, it does not have as high a power factor as a PST motor. So that's all that box does. That does not tell the app, it does not tell MeasureQuick that, you know, it's a modulating system, and then MeasureQuick can magically anticipate what that modulating system is trying to do. That's not how that works. You need to have it in test mode, full blast, steady state. So we got make, model, serial number already in here, and then we get the profile, pretty self-explanatory. Just verify that all the specs are correct.
And again, those little diamonds off to the
Yes.
left indicate that AI found that stuff.
Yes.
So whatever didn't get found by AI, we could put in, so if we wanted to get the sear, we could pick the sear if
Yep.
we wanted to, if we gave it.
Exactly. High efficiency evaporator, that is an advanced target that I have turned on, that's not on by default, you normally wouldn't see that. What that does is it compensates your suction pressure target for having an oversized evaporator coil, but it only compensates for a half ton step up. If you're working on one of those crazy high efficiencies with the, you know, the 5-ton evap, you know, 1-ton condenser, it's not going to be able to compensate for that. It's only a half-ton step difference. Refrigerant charge, that's optional, as it says. You don't have to put it in there, it's just for documentation. Furnace and evaporator, model number, serial number. There's a cool feature in here too. You see it says search for manuals for each category. If you have a model number, serial number, you can search for the manuals now. Just hit that button and it'll go to the internet.
I was going to, just doing a basic. Yeah, when it does that, on the internet, is it just like searching the internet all over, or the particular site that it's
I
going?
think it's all over.
Okay.
I think it's pretty, yeah, it's pretty open. So now we're into the furnace profile. This is the important part now. Again, verify that the AI read the label correctly. Everything on this page is on the label. This furnace, with the exception of the pressure switch. There's no pressure switch info on the label. I had to get that off of the switch itself. So that's everything. Pretty self-explanatory thing for you guys. But make sure you get the filter dimensions right. Recalculate air velocity across the filter, so we know the surface area of the filter to do that. So we need accurate filter. And then you continue. Any questions here so far? Am I too slow, too fast, boring anyone? Nope. Good. And moving on, next. So now, I'm going to actually start putting stuff on the system, visual inspection. This is literally just a visual inspection. This is literally just visual observations you're making of the system. This is not based on any measurements. No matter what the probes see, none of this will be automatically populated.
You better go back to that venting screen there.
What's that?
You better go back to that venting screen. Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
Vented inside where?
Yes. Not a choice. Should be.
Convenient.
One selection, and we would want each section.
Oh, you can check every box on. Yep.
And this, for our technicians, if we do this prior to starting,
In the sequence it is, prior to starting, but you can always go back to it and update it. I think actually, I have it turned off, but there's this hotkey button right by the corner, so when you get out of this page,
this one,
yep. That orange arrow at the right bottom corner of the screen, actually by default it'll be a green arrow, but, oh, there it is. Corrective actions. Okay, so you want, visual inspection is not there, but corrective actions is always available. And so there's two checklists. There's the visual inspection, and then there's the replyable checklist to the inspection. This is the, you can access this page anytime through there. So, visual inspection and zero your manometers. Anyone not familiar with working with manometers?
And I mean, I don't know anything.
Will you guys keep it down over there?
Can we have a free manometer?
so Jimmy, are you in favor of zeroing the tool?
Yes,
or
with a
zeroing
$130 purchase, you get a free manometer. Manometer.
Zeroing the manometer is a bit finicky because when you zero it in MeasureQuick, if the manometer is at 10 inches of static pressure and you hit 0 in MeasureQuick, the manometer will still say 10 inches. MeasureQuick is now establishing that 10 as 0.
As 0.
And any discrepancy in there is what it's calculating. So I prefer to zero it at the manometer, but then verify in Probe Manager that it's also at 0 so that both are 0. So you want to zero the probe, then zero the app to that. If that makes sense. That's my OCD way of doing it. But the important part is that MeasureQuick has some kind of zero indication. So right there, so my manometer. I did this before you guys came out, but my manometer is at -0.01. And yeah, I did my due diligence before we came out. At least I have to. Another thing for you guys, this is, and you know what, this is my OCD. You have the probe, different probes. What I do with my probes, what I do with my probes is usually the serial numbers are sequential on 2 of the probes, and maybe this will help you, but I always pick my low serial number as the low side, or the suction line, or there's a little mental system that I have. That's my system.
Definitely lower number. Okay. Definitely lower.
And then the oddball, the oddball psychrometer on the cooling side, the oddball psychrometer is outdoor. So that's how I do it.
It's the right man version.
Yes.
That's what definitely water 3 o'clock.
Yeah. Keep it clean.
We're not gonna-
And then Jim comes up, fucks it all up, and pisses me off.
We're not going to zero.
Wrong.
All right, let's keep it moving.
Yeah.
We're not gonna zero the 165 because we're already monitoring the inlet gas pressure.
Oh, that's.
So go back, manometers are zero, so zero manometers, yes, already been done. Deploy probe, and here's another thing, everything in here is a button. If you have any questions on anything, call me. But also, you can click on the gauge and see what the target is supposed to be, what the allowable ranges are. But also, if you want to know where to put your probes, there's a little icon. Yep, right there. And it'll bring up a diagram of where to put your probes. So, just know that that's there. It's kind of a subtle, it's a tiny little button really, but it's there. Next is enter installation info, filter size, square footage, thing, I think it's for some energy program, 1 million square feet.
Blower speed, this is what we were talking about in the classroom. You can pick your blower speed on the heating. You
This
know,
is
where-
an ECM though, so just, I just say hi.
Hi.
Hi. I'm Jim. Nice to meet you. So,
Ducts are in the
yeah, we
basement.
compensate our capacity calculations for ductwork, being uninsulated outside conditioned spaces, excessive line set lengths, that's all compensated for, so. Don't have to be exact, but give us an idea. Continue. Electrical info. So, give it a second. Electrical info, yeah.
That's what my coworker said, so you're just hitting all the damn buttons.
Yeah, let the brain think. So, electrical info pretty obvious. Photo documents, indoor issues. So now this is, these are project photos. These are photos that you'll only see on this project. They'll be on the report, that will ping the service site, your house call when you're done, ping to our cloud database when we're done as well. So yeah, if you want to take pictures of stuff,
So Jimmy, those two photo pictures
Picture
don't.
of Jimmy's vent pipe.
don't show that.
Hey, this is technical data. I'm taking this home. I didn't volunteer for no reason. Saved it. Too late. Okay.
I mean, OSHA violation. Are you trying to kill us?
So Jimmy, when you went to that screen, it
Are
actually
you
took a
trying to kill
picture.
us?
When
Jimmy,
went
you
in-
have a way of going into the system and deleting those photos from the back end, right?
We are being recorded, so don't ask a loaded question.
Yes. Yes, I think they can actually be on the cloud, that you can go in. But in House Call and Service Titan, I think they're saved as a PDF.
Okay.
So I don't think you'll be able to delete them there, but you could in our cloud. So another little detail I want to give you real quick is internet access is generally not needed for most of this process. But when you start the project, it has to retrieve customer and equipment info from the cloud, so that's internet access. When you run the AI, internet access. And when you take these photos, go back to when you take these pictures, see that little cloud with the check mark logo at the right bottom corner of the caption there? Of the
Yep.
picture? That means that it was able to ping this picture to the cloud as you took it. And that's important because you can take as many pictures as you'd like here for every category. You don't have to take any at all. So you don't have any pictures or anything. But the problem is if you're in an area where the cell service is sketchy, you're not going to be able to take 1 million pictures because it's going to save them all on the iPad. But then when you finish the project, it's going to try and save all those pictures, and it's going to overwhelm the system. So if you don't have good cell service, don't go taking 85,000 pictures for every category. My rule of thumb is 1 picture per category. If you want to take an extra picture in one category, maybe skip a picture in another. But if you get the cloud logo, cloud with the check, you're good. And then the last time we'll need cell service is at the end of the project when it does try to save the PDFs and all the reports to the cloud. So,
Save photos.
yeah, good. Next. Power system on, as if it's not already. Start the furnace. See how fast I can get into this. So, continue on. Well, it loves it when you do that. Oh, yeah, do it again, do it again.
Easy come, easy go.
That's why I just got a new phone. Actually, I rolled on top of it, changing oil and rolled on top of the phone, rolled on top of the ratchet. That's how I do stop the screen out of that one. So turn on combustion analyzer. Wait a second when we turn that on. Let this thing start up before we get this. So the Solomon combustion analyzer, I'm not going to lie, it's a bit temperamental. It's like shooting a gun. Slow is smooth, smooth is fast. Don't rush the analyzer, you'll piss it off.
Normally.
Normally, yes. You're establishing the base. Not necessarily.
Okay, there's the analyzers on. We're gonna hit yes.
Yep.
Analyzers on, we're hitting yes. You can see the gauges became live now.
So when you use the analyzer, it's going to connect automatically now. Once you save it in your toolbox, you don't have to connect it in the toolbox. It will connect as soon as he hits ambient CO. Go ahead, do it. There's a connect to analyzer button. Hit it. And it should make a liar out of me and not connect. There we go. Okay, so you can start the pump up. And now this is kind of a safety inspection before you really dig into anything. You're just going to run around the house and check to make sure that there is no CO in the house. So activate the pump on ambient. So now it's just you're just making sure there's no CO in the house. You zeroed this outside, and now make sure there's nothing in the house. So
I like to zero mine outside and walk completely through the house with the furnace off
right.
to make sure, because if they got a fireplace somewhere or
Yep.
something. Because if you got a CO source starting off,
Yep.
that's got to be
You
corrected
already have
first.
a problem.
You already got a problem.
Okay, Paul's here. Lunch is here, but I'm going to finish this exercise. So, although this is simple to say, what do you say? Just go through the house and check for ambient.
Yes.
So you got, let's say, a freaking gun in your hand. Hey, I'm just going to roam around and check some stuff out. So, who wants to be the quick volunteer? I will give it to you first. So,
Particularly the kids' bedrooms.
that's right. That's right. So, Mr. Jones, we want to check for some safety issues in the house. I need to make sure the house is set up for a test. So, is there any place I can't go in your house? Any rooms you don't want me to go into? If Rambo's in there or whatever. So, any other animals in the house that I need to be aware of or make sure I don't let outside? Right. So it's okay for me to go around. Do you want to go with me? No, I'm okay. So now, I'm now free, have permission, know everywhere I can and can't go. Clarified that, no surprises. Okay. And what am I looking for? We did this yesterday. So I'm walking through the house. I'm now looking for several things in particular. What are they? Are the these are good. Okay, what else? Yes. So what did you say? Sorry.
Locked vents.
Locked vents. That's right. Vents open. What else? With the vents and doors. All right, doors are open. So in general, the house is going to give me, normal stuff. You don't need a lot. I think the vent have some air movement. The door is slightly open. But what else am I checking for? I know there's gas appliances in the house. I'm going to clock them either. What do I want to make sure is off? What would I be checking?
All your other gas appliances.
Like what? They are
Water heater.
done. You're done. Another one. All right, range. What else?
Gas fireplace.
Gas fireplaces, all right, so there's a variety of things I'm looking through, and it's just a casual, you don't need like, you know, a fireplace, so, and what I'm doing, with this tool is doing that, what's it doing, ambient?
CO.
What rooms do I need to go to? I have to go to a few rooms. Bedrooms, that's right, keep going. Wherever you fall asleep, that's right, some other ones. Living room, especially if it's got a fireplace, that's right, okay. And others that have combustion appliances. Living room, kitchen, fantastic. Oh, there's one more. You mentioned the drawing.
Combustion air zone.
Yeah, anywhere that
Bathroom.
So there
Not
isn't
a
many
methane.
places you don't go. I don't need to do a lot in there, but you notice you are getting ambient, and then you can actually kind of check your returns and supplies. How long does it take to do that for?
3 to
Yeah,
5
it's really
minutes.
tough to do that if you're not doing it, as I say, to walk around, checking some other stuff. Maybe